Taking a lot of shots at you. You seem to be his main opponent tonight rather than Stephen Harper. Your thoughts on that?
I think tonight was about presenting a plan and a vision for the future of this country. I was the only leader up there who was detailing clearly a plan for investment in our country to give Canadians the help they need, the growth they need, and the future that we want to leave to our kids. I'm very pleased with how it went.
Mr. Trudeau, you say you're being the only leader who's being straight with Canadians. So what does that mean? Are you saying that both Mr. Harper and Mr. Mulcair are lying to Canadians?
Well, we know what Mr. Mulcair's plan is. Mr. Mulcair is going to suddenly realize, if he gets elected, that, the numbers are worse than we thought and we're not going to be able to keep our promises. That's a tried and true political tactic that I'm simply not going to engage in. I've looked at Canadians. I've said, we're going to run 3 modest deficits because it's the right thing to do, to invest in the communities that we have, to invest in the growth we need. That's what I'm focused on, and that's what was clear during this debate.
At the end of the debate, you mentioned that First Nations hadn't been a part of the debate at all. Why didn't you bring it up earlier?
There was an awful lot of topics covered in a very short period of time, and I kept hoping that it would be brought up, but I think it's important to highlight that the fact is that First Nations have the largest proportion of young people in this country, and the future of those communities are also about the future of our country. Needing to get our resources to market, needing to develop our resources needs to happen in partnership in a nation-to-nation basis with First Nations, and that's exactly what the Liberal Party is committed to do, and I was glad to be able to highlight that in a debate that talked about many aspects of our economy, but didn't speak enough about the opportunities and the challenges faced by Indigenous Canadians.
Est-ce que c'est ça votre cadre financier? Parce que c'était l'impression que vous sembliez donner.
Tout à fait. J'ai annoncé au début de la campagne que nous allions mettre de l'avant, il y a plusieurs semaines, que nous allions mettre de l'avant un plan qui prépare des déficits modestes pour pouvoir investir dans du logement social, du transport collectif, dans les choses dont les Canadiens vont avoir besoin pour créer de la croissance, pour créer des emplois. Les autres partis le savent très bien que nous avons mis de l'avant ce cadre fiscal parce qu'ils nous attaquent dessus à tous les jours. Nous avons un plan clair pour investir dans notre pays et c'est de ça que j'ai parlé ce soir.
How did you do? How do you think you did tonight?
You know what? I'm going to leave it up to pundits to talk about who did what. I was proud to get our clear and strong plan to invest in this country, and ultimately Canadians will decide on October 19th.
Avez-vous passé votre message tout de même?
Je trouve que les Canadiens voient très clairement que nous avons un plan pour investir dans la croissance économique, dans la création d'emplois, dans l'aide pour les Canadiens de la classe moyenne, en augmentant les impôts pour les mieux nantis et en les baissant pour la classe moyenne. Nous avons un plan clair qui va sortir 315 000 jeunes de la pauvreté en donnant des allocations plus généreuses aux familles qui en ont besoin et en arrêtant d'envoyer ces chèques à des familles millionnaires. Nous avons un plan clair et je pense que tout le monde le voit après ce soir. Well, I think it's important that we're here in Calgary and highlighting that Mr. Harper has completely missed the opportunities. First, to actually get pipelines to Tidewater. For 10 years, he's supposedly the best friend that the Alberta energy industry has ever had, and yet he's been an absolute failure because he doesn't understand that the only way to get energy projects built now is to understand that you cannot separate environment and economy. Not being able to get the public trust has hurt Alberta's economy and it's hurt Canada's economy. That's why we are proposing a much better relationship with the provinces and a much better process whereby we will earn the public trust to get our resources to market. It's one of the things that a Prime Minister is supposed to do. It's one of the things that Mr. Harper has failed to do.
Mr. Trudeau, as much as you say you're being straight with Canadians, Mr. Harper says you're going to tax the heck out of them. Mr. Mulcair says you're going to leave deficits to future generations. So why should we believe you?
The fact of it is that we've actually put forward a strong plan that's very clear that we think Canadians need investment right now. We know interest rates are at record lows. Our debt-to-GDP ratio is low, and with the Liberal plan, even with our 3 modest deficits, will continue to decrease every year. Our economy is flat because, as you heard me say a few times tonight, Mr. Harper has the lowest growth of any Prime Minister since R.B. Bennett in the depths of the Great Depression. The fact is, now is the time to invest in Canadians, in our future, creating a better future for our kids and grandkids, and that's exactly what I was highlighting tonight. Mr. Harper and Mr. Mulcair will continue to play politics and attack as much as they can, but they haven't put forward a plan to build a strong economy, to create jobs for Canadians, and to invest in our future, and that's what the Liberal Party plan is all about.
Parce que M. Harper a fait une émission ce soir pour la première fois publiquement en disant que le secteur de l'automobile ne serait pas nécessairement content de la signature du TPP, mais qu'il serait prêt à signer quand même.
Monsieur Harper démontre encore le genre de manière d'opacité et de non-transparence en matière de négociations internationales. On est très inquiet pour ce qui est en train de passer comme message et comme deal, comme négociation là-dessus. La réalité, c'est que, évidemment, le commerce international est extrêmement important, mais nous nous devons de s'assurer qu'on est en train de le faire de la bonne façon.
Your plan looks an awful lot like what Kathleen Wynne's been doing in Ontario. You obviously have a lot of advisors who come out of Ontario Liberal politics. Ontario's not doing great economically. In addition to the deficits, higher unemployment than it should be, loss of many manufacturing jobs. Is that Canada's future if they go with your plan?
Our plan is about investing in Canadians. It's about lowering taxes for the wealthiest 1%, raising taxes on the wealthiest 1% so we can lower them for the middle class. This is about investing in our future because that's what confident, optimistic countries do. They know that we are able to grow and build, and a federal government that has the capacity to should be a much better partner. That's what I'm focused on.
Sir, did you feel like you had the most to lose tonight? A lot of pundits said before this, Trudeau has the most to lose, maybe the most to gain. Did you agree?
I'm focused on presenting to Canadians a strong plan, the right plan to grow the economy and to bring people together. Unfortunately, we've seen tonight, yet again, Mr. Harper playing the politics of division. The fact that he referred to something called old stock Canadians demonstrates that yet again he is choosing to divide Canadians against another and with Bill C-24 and others is undermining New Canadians' legitimacy. For the Liberal Party, for me, a Canadian is a Canadian is a Canadian, and it will always stay that way. Merci beaucoup tout le monde.